Yo, it's your friendly neighborhood knucklehead here, and in this video, I'm gonna talk more about who we are and what our identity is and how we can become the person that we're meant to be. First off, who are you? How would you answer that question? Take a moment, think about, who am I? How would I introduce myself to somebody who has never met me before? Now, some of us might do that more regularly than others, but when you're a creative person, or if you're somebody that has multiple roles and multiple hats in society, sometimes it can be a little bit tough to think about what is the essence of our identity. Our identity is not our name. Our name was given to us. What we do now is live the purpose that our name represents. And figuring that out, figuring each aspect of who we are, is going to be another puzzle piece that fits into the picture of what our identity is. Now, how would you define your identity? For me, what I've observed, identity is nothing more than our choices and our behaviors in life. What we do, what we've done in the past, and what we actively engage in, that's pretty much who we are. And every version of us in the past, if we're no longer continuing those actions, those patterns, those behaviors, then that's an old identity. You know, think about how a snake just sheds its skin, becomes a brand new snake. That's kind of what we do with our identity if we move from city to city, or an apartment to a house, or whatever. Putting ourselves in a different environment, that creates a new identity. What are we gonna do now that we're in this different environment? I've had so many awkward introductions of myself. I almost needed to practice how I described telling somebody I'm meeting for the first time who I actually am. Because I used to have so many different, I played bass in this band, and I was a babysitter, and I was a server, and I worked at a museum, or I worked in a school. There were all of these things that I would do throughout the day, and I really didn't know how to classify myself to another person. It was really when I started aligning with what I felt my purpose was, that's when I was very clear, like, oh, I'm an artist. That's how I describe myself now. Being confident in what your identity is also really important, and it's not just blind confidence. I say I'm an artist because I am actively engaging in being a creative person on a daily basis. Now, here's the biggest misconception, and this is something that I really had to overcome, because I'm somebody that doesn't really get out and talk to a lot of people normally, so I'm really alone with my thoughts. And what I've grown to learn is that we're not our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. And if we can live in our head sometimes, and we're on our own and we're living with our thoughts, somehow we can think we know who we are just living in our head. But if we're acting a certain way, that's what everyone sees. Nobody sees what's going on in our head, the things that we think, the things that we say to ourselves. They only understand what we do, what we can prove, right? What we can say to other people. Now, here's a big misconception, because this is where identity starts to fall all over the place for other people. When we describe ourselves as something different than what we actually do throughout the day. If I describe myself as an artist, but I'm barely doing anything creative, let's say I work in a cubicle 50 hours a week, or I work as a lawyer 60 hours a week, can I really define myself as an artist? Well, yeah, if I am being creative. And I really think that in order to have the identity that we want to have, we need to listen to our bodies to choose the right path that's going to be in alignment with the identity that feels right. At any point, you can change your identity. You can change your identity right now, in the moment, watching this video. Boom, I'm a different person. Well, how do you prove that you're a different person? Well, I'm not going to do the same things that I've been doing, right? In March, I was casually creating content. I was trying to do at least a few things each week. Now I changed my identity to be a content creator. Every day I'm putting out things on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Monday through Friday, I'm putting out things on YouTube. Like every day I'm doing something creative. And not to mention also practicing music every day, reading books every day, like really engaging with things that are going to add to the identity that feels right for me. So sometimes we'll need to experiment a little bit. Sometimes we'll need to dip our toe in the water before we can fully jump into a new identity, right? Let's say we're working a job that's taking over a lot of our hours, but we want more hours to do something creative. Well, maybe we have to take a little bit of a risk too. Maybe we tell our boss, our manager, whoever, I can't work on Fridays anymore. Something's come up, I need Fridays back. Maybe that's your first step, your baby step. Fridays, you're gonna start to fill up your day with a little bit more creative activities. That's a great first step. The bottom line is where we put our time is where our identity falls. And sometimes if we put our time in other people, friend groups, relationships, whoever, those people begin to be a reflection on who we are because those are the people we're choosing to put our time into. Those are the people we are aligning ourselves to. And if you find that those people aren't a good representation of who you are, if they're doing things that you don't agree with, then what is keeping you drawn to them? If you find that old behavior patterns are falling out of alignment with the identity that you feel is right for you, it's time to get real with yourself and really make choices, step outside of this autopilot or this box that you've created for yourself in the past. Like I said, at any point you can change who you are by changing what you do. If your friends that you're always hanging out with want to go out one night, say, I gotta stay in tonight. Right there is a change. Right there is you becoming a different person. It really starts like that. I hope this video helped you figure out whether or not you're on the right path. Sometimes we really have to get outside of our thoughts and our mind and into our bodies and really objectively looking at what we're doing throughout the day. So if this video resonated with you at all and you want to see more of this, just go down, like the video, and subscribe. Helps me out, helps my channel. And also up here, I have a video of getting sober. And that's a big identity leap that I made in my own life and that you can make in your own life too, if that's something you're striving for. Thanks for checking me out and stay creative.